Imagine pondering over the divine nature of Jesus. What if we were to reveal that Jesus shares the same substance as God, the Creator? This concept, profound and enlightening, opens up a new perspective on the life and teachings of Jesus Christ. Our story begins over 2 millennia ago, in the humble surroundings of a manger in Bethlehem. A child was born, not an ordinary child, but one who would change the course of history. This child was Jesus, and from the very moment of his birth, his divine nature was apparent. The Gospel of Matthew recounts the visit of the Magi, wise men from the East who recognized the divine nature of the newborn Jesus. They saw in him not just a king of the Jews, but a divine being, a part of God himself. The star they followed was not merely a celestial body, but a divine sign, a beacon of God's presence on earth. As Jesus grew, so did the evidence of his divinity. At the age of 12, he astounded scholars with his understanding of religious texts. His knowledge was not just scholarly, but divine, stemming from a direct connection with God. Here was a boy, yet he possessed wisdom far beyond his years, a wisdom that could only come from God. Then, at the age of 30, Jesus began his public ministry. The miracles he performed were not tricks or illusions, but manifestations of divine power. He healed the sick, gave sight to the blind, and even raised the dead. These were not the actions of a mere mortal, but those of God himself, working through Jesus. The most significant event, however, was the crucifixion. Jesus willingly sacrificed himself, bearing the sins of humanity. This was the ultimate demonstration of his divine nature. No human could withstand such a burden, but Jesus did. He did it out of love, a divine love that is infinite and unconditional. 3 days later, Jesus rose from the dead, conquering death itself. This was the ultimate proof of his divinity. Only God, the creator and sustainer of life, could overcome death. Jesus' resurrection was not a myth or a metaphor, but a historical fact, a testament to his divine nature. To summarize, the divine nature of Jesus is evident throughout his life, from his miraculous birth to his extraordinary wisdom, from his miraculous healings to his selfless sacrifice, and finally, his victory over death. Every aspect of his life points to his divinity. Jesus is not just a historical figure or a spiritual leader, but God himself, manifested in human form. His story is not just a tale of a man, but the story of God's love for humanity. So next time you ponder about the divine nature of Jesus, remember this. Jesus is one substance with God, the Creator. He is not just a part of God's creation, but a part of God himself. His story is our story, a story of divine love, divine sacrifice, and divine victory. It's a story that continues to inspire, enlighten, and transform us, even today, over 2,000 years later.